Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair aghle, ni hao, chunishumme, washmale. Ohaya gonzaimas, guten Morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal? Halishuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba. Buna mucho gracias, swabia, balli kare aya. Hosh galde nanayo sayo, khuyamora, chivatto, chihaljot, kalimera, khairutan. And a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV1 and watching World this morning. Alongside your very own Shahzad Khan, and we're very lucky that we've been joined by Miss Eesha Rehan. Hello Eesha, Assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum salam, Shahzad. I'm feeling absolutely great today. Thank you for the introduction. But I feel like the right question to ask is how was I feeling and how were we all feeling yesterday during the catastrophic hailstorm that we faced yesterday?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And before you actually kind of ask this question, there's another thing that I would want to kind of mention over here, and that is before we step into yesterday, let's talk about today, because it's going to be World Hemophilia Day. World Hemophilia Day is being observed every year on April 17th to raise awareness of the disease and other bleeding disorders and to support patients afflicted by these disorders. The day, which was started by the World Federation of Hemophilia 1989, stresses on better diagnosis and access to care for those people who remain without treatment and to raise funds for those patients who are not able to afford treatment. And in connection to this, you know, we've always been advocating about it, that people who are out there, after every 6 months, if you're healthy weight, if you're maintaining your weight as well, if your hemoglobin is fine, you really need to donate blood for all of those people who are fighting with such sort of diseases and illnesses. Now, coming to what you asked, please go ahead.
Come back to the topic that we faced yesterday. Sir, I want to know, what did you feel today? What was happening today?
All right. So I think it was devastating, unfortunate, you know, for all of those people, you know, who were over here in Islamabad and certainly, you know, the surrounding areas as well. I think that the only thing that I did was that I called almost every friend of mine, every family member of mine, and the first thing to ask was, how are you? And that's exactly one thing, which I would want people to kind of realize, that the first thing that you need to ask is not about the cause, but about the people. But unfortunately, there was a lot of damage that was being reported. There was a lot of loss made with the windscreens and the rear screens of the cars. But ladies and gentlemen, to speak about it, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the Director General, Pakistan Meteorological Department. He is Mr. MAHR SAHIBZAD Khan Sahab. Hello sir, Assalamu alaikum, Mayor Sahab. How are you? Good morning.
Assalam. Very fine.
Sir, thank you so much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you over here. But sir, what happened yesterday? Can you please briefly let us know and our audiences?
Yes, really. Yesterday, a phenomena that have never occurred in the history of the environment or climate, but it was, I think that it was predicted, which I will told you that when we issue the monthly forecast for the month of the April, we have mentioned that the April is the month of the dust storms, hailstorms, because this month is a transitory month. You are entering it from winter to the summer season. So the unpredicted phenomena sometimes happen. But during the month forecast that was issued 28th March, so it was predicted. Then last Thursday, on 10th of the April, we issued an advisory regarding the heat wave. That heat wave can occur in all over the Pakistan region. In some areas, it may be affected. It may affect severely, but in some areas, just like in the upper northern part of the Pakistan, the temperature might raise, and the globe phenomena or other phenomena can happen. So in that advisory, we mentioned that at the end of this week, that is continued, we issued that there is a chances of, after the heat wave, the pressure may drop and the dust storm or wind storm can hit the northern part of the Pakistan, especially the northern part of the Pakistan.
Exactly, but Mayor Saab, you know, I think that's exactly what I would want to discuss now. With such sort of advisory, what we do see is that it's a very generic advisory that, there will be a windstorm, there will be a thunderstorm, there will be a heat wave. So almost everything is taking place, or there will be flash floods. Because just yesterday, flash floods were reported in KHYBER PAKHTUNKHWA as part of Pakistan as well. How do you think that, that the meteorological department can actually be on top of their game and probably release an advisory an hour ago that a hailstorm is expected? So people are actually supposed to kind of look after their belongings, whatever may them be, cars or houses, or if they're outside. Can this be done? Do you think that, that in days to come, we really need to get more advanced, because, such sort of climate adversaries we will be witnessing in years to come? How do you think that the meteorological department is going to adopt with that?
Actually, I would like to tell you that this phenomena does not occur widespread. This occurred only at isolated places. So, 48 hours before this phenomena, we again revised our advisory and told that on the evening of the 16th April, this phenomena can occur. But no, when it was visible yesterday at 3 p.m., and this phenomena was occurring and hitting in some areas of the KPK and Kashmir areas, so we issued no cost, that is issued before 2 or 3 hours happening of something phenomena. So we issued that advisory, and some people, PDM in Punjab, picked it actively.
And Mayor Sahab, certainly, obviously, because the advisory was being released, so obviously, the Pakistan Meteorological Department has done their job. And I do believe that it's on to us now as well, that we kind of keep on looking for such information out there, because what happens to us is that we become so naive and we become so unconcerned as well. So I think that's where the problem lies as well. But Eesha has got a question for you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Mahr, I want to ask that according to the World Meteorological Organization, weather patterns are being disrupted, and this was a very abnormal event, having the size of hail which was as big as the palm of my hand and even as big as the palm of Shahzad's hand. So this was very abnormal. Why did this happen? What caused the size of the hail to increase, and is this going to happen again?
Yeah, and what can we expect in the coming days?
What can we do to prevent this? Yeah.
Actually, the temperatures that converts this water into the condensation of these ice pellets, that was low level. You can say that in the upper atmosphere, the temperature was very low. So the condensations that either converts into the ice precipitation drops are in the form of this hailstorm. Actually, the temperature in the upper air was very low.
And sir, can we expect such an incident? Can we expect such an incident in coming days as well? Do we really need to be careful about it in coming days?
Yes. Already we have forecasted in our monthly advisory that 3 or 4 dust storms occur during the month of April at different places. Likely in the.
Thank you so much for highlighting, how condensation and temperature plays a big role in our weather patterns, and for clarifying that we need to be prepared for these events in the future.
Thank you so much, Mayor Sahab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And for everybody who's out there, I think what we need to do is that we need to keep an eye out. I do believe that may it be the PMD, may it be the Pakistan television, or may it be any other television network. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody needs to make sure that they keep an eye out as well and keep on looking. I mean, it's so simple for you to kind of go to your phone and check what the weather update is like. And there are 3 more such incidents expected. May Allah have mercy upon all of us. Please make sure that you look after. But not just that, in addition to this, right after the hailstorm, there's only one storm that we couldn't really stop, and that was the storm of Pakistan Super League's 10th edition, where Islamabad United beat Multan Sultans by 47 runs. Defending champions, Islamabad United continued their impressive run in the Pakistan Super League with a dominant 47-run victory over Multan Sultans in the 7th match of the tournament. PTV Sports obviously is telecasting the match live. This win marks Islamabad's 3rd consecutive triumph, while Multan Sultans suffered their 2nd successive defeat. Batting first, Islamabad United posted a formidable total of 202 for 6 in 20 overs, thanks to solid performance from SAHIBZAD Farhan, who scored a quick 53, and Colin Munro, who added 48 runs to the scoreboard. Even though that the conditions were really tricky just last night, because the ball was gripping on early, and so for SAHIBZAD Farhan and Colin Munro to kind of give this much of score, and then Heather Ali to come and contribute was something which was commendable. Islamabad United as of now actually looks very formidable, and I don't think that there will be any team who can actually take them to their dugout very easily. In addition to this, what's going to happen today? Well, obviously today, ladies and gentlemen, is a holiday in Pakistan Super League. It's a free day as well. But on Friday, Lahore Qalandars, okay, so that's Karachi Kings to face Quetta Gladiators on Friday. Lahore Qalandars outplayed Karachi Kings by 65 runs in the 6th match of the Pakistan Super League 2025 in Karachi. Earlier, Lahore Qalandars captain Shaheen Shafri won the toss and elected to bat. Batting first, Lahore Qalandars scored 201 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in allotted 20 overs. All right, well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Karachi Kings to face Quetta Gladiators on Friday. But in addition to this, I think there's one, I don't know if it's a good news, Eesha, or not, but I think that the Earth's oceans were once green.
You know, that is such a fascinating fact, because in our geography books, we would see that the oceans and the rivers, everything is seen as blue. But in real life, when we see water, it's transparent. So what is the real color of water, if you think about it?
Yeah, I don't know. So why don't you take us through? Yeah, please
yeah,
let us know.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, I think water is transparent, but the reflection of the sky, it makes it seem blue.
So is sky really blue? How is sky blue? Because the clouds are white, right?
Oh my gosh, you know, I feel like we are unfolding such phenomenal
So I think, okay,
facts.
I've got a study to share, because the study has found that the Earth's oceans were not blue, but green. In the study published in Nature, Japanese researchers have revealed that billions of years ago, Earth's oceans were green, but not because of algae blooms or some form of pollution, but due to iron deposits as well as a process called anaerobic photosynthesis. Rain dissolved iron from continental rocks, which was then carried to the oceans by the river. Similarly, iron source, in addition to this, organism used anaerobic photosynthesis, which is a process of photosynthesis without oxygen. This phenomenon resulted in the green color of the ocean. All right, so now we know that the oceans are not blue or transparent, but rather green, and it's because of photosynthesis taking place. Wow, there's so much science in it.
Exactly, how phenomenal to know. All right, next up, let's move on to a new speed record set up in the Swiss Alps. How fascinating. A pair of Swiss and Austrian mountaineers have set a record of completing an endurance feat in the Swiss Alps in just 15 hours and 30 minutes. Swiss climber Nicholas Hojak and Austrian partner Philipp Berger claimed the north face of the Eger, Monch and Jungfrau, the three most iconic and challenging peaks. They broke the long-lasting record of 25 hours set by the Swiss antipilist Ueli Steck and Sethan Stagrist in 2004. You know, the record was broken from 25 hours to 15 hours. Imagine the training needing to take that place.
I mean, it looks like as if there might be superhumans as well, and we've spoken about, you know, whether you have a sport hobby or not. But certainly, you know, you've been in handball and football. I don't want to repeat it again as well. But imagine
I played one match for the football team, and I considered myself to be part.
Yeah, imagine that, you know, mountaineering is such a job that if it took 25 hours, it should actually take, okay, you know, more or less 24 hours, right? But it cannot be come down to 10 hours as well. Exactly. So within 15 hours, they were able to do it. But one last mention over here, that because we've always been really interested in dinosaurs. Right? So I'm going to speak about that. 300 million years old fossil discovery by US team predated dinosaurs. A professor and his student have found an extraordinary fossil which predates dinosaurs. My God, Dr. Chris Shelton and his student Colby Dooling from Rogers State University discovered a rare, well-preserved ammonite fossil at a site in Oklahoma. According to Dr. Shelton, the fossil showed signs of preservation, which gives it pearl-like iridescence. These fossils are called ammolite, which is a rare gemstone. The fossil dated back to Carboniferous period. My God.
Wow, I mean, imagine finding a fossil older than the dinosaurs. What did we discover?
I mean, I don't know whether it was a dinosaur. Who did the fossil belong to? I think I'm still pretty much confused over here. All right, but while we've been talking about fossils and bones and whatnot, I think what we really need to do over here is that we really need to kind of speak about how people these days are getting better because of the stem cell therapy.
Yes.
And that's something that we've actually spoken about before as well. Is it really something that we need to opt for? I think to answer all of these questions, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be a stem cell consultant. He's Dr. Syed Salman Gilani. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you feeling today?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you and welcome back. It's a bigger and better set.
It is.
Yeah,
it
we're
is.
doing wonderful.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. So first of all, I think what I would want you to do is, kind of let's give a recap to our audiences, because we know, but we're not here for that. We want audiences to know. So please make sure that you let our audiences know how stem cell therapy can actually be a good source of healing.
All right. So, stem cells are naturally occurring cells in our body. Actually, it is a master cell. So when a baby is born, it is born by one cell. That one cell is a stem cell. And that cell actually starts dividing and makes first tissues and then organs. And once we're born, every organ of our body has stem cells. And the function of these stem cells is to repair and regenerate. Whenever there is any injury, any disease, these cells are activated and they cause repair and regeneration. Now, as stem cell physicians, our job is to, because of aging or because of certain diseases, the number of stem cells are not enough to take care of the disease. So what we do is, we take these cells from areas like bone marrow, from adipose tissue, from umbilical cord, and there are many others as well. We take those cells from there, we process them, and then we inject wherever the disease is. Let's say if there is knee pain, we inject in the knee. If there is any brain issue, we inject in the spinal cord. If there is any issue with the heart, in the heart. So just a simple definition of how we treat with stem cells.
And so I think at this point of time, what people might be thinking is that, okay, just by injecting newer stem cells, how do you think that things will get better?
Right. Very good question.
Thank you so much.
See, the thing is, our body, our brain has an image of what normal is for us.
Okay.
And our body keeps trying to get back to normal. This is called homeostasis. So these stem cells are at the hallmark of causing homeostasis. So what happens is, let's say, just to give you an example, whenever there is a cut, we don't tell the body to stop the bleeding first. The platelets go and then they'll put the meshwork there so that the bleeding stops. And then the stem cells will come, they'll repair the skin, put the meshwork. Everything happens in a cascade and we don't do anything. As stem cell physicians, our job is to have the purified stem cells. That is the only job that we require and inject it where it is required.
All right.
And then the nature takes over and it's, in a way, it's natural way of healing wherever the disease is.
And you very beautifully described what stem cells are. As someone who did not pay attention in biology class, I really appreciate the in-depth understanding of what they are.
Are you an engineer?
No.
So it's no biology, no engineering. What did you do? Computer science?
No, I did media studies. Can't you see? All right. So my next question is that stem cells therapy is considered the future of medicine. So what is the limit to the potential of using these stem cells? Are they used for skin rejuvenation, for cancer? What about Alzheimer's and other conditions?
That is a very good question. So there are 100 individual diseases in which stem cells are already established in treating. So which would include your musculoskeletal issues like your knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, or any pain or sports-related injury. Then your brain diseases like your Alzheimer's, autism, stroke, spinal cord injuries.
Really, strokes as well?
Yes, strokes as well.
I'm very fascinated by the autism part because we were always told that it is something that you were born with and it is something related to the genes. So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
True and not true. Okay, so so the research is going on. To be very honest, till date, we don't know exactly why autism occurs. But we know certain factors that is enhancing the incidence of autism. Just to give you the statistics, in 1999, for every 800 normal children, there was one diagnosis of autism. In 2022, it's one for every 35 children. So after every 35 children,
so it has been increasing over the years.
Till 2040, it is postulated that it will be every other child will be autistic.
And you never know, where you are on the autism spectrum as well.
Absolutely. So it's a spectrum. So a lot of children are in the spectrum. So our goal, first of all, is to diagnose them, and then through stem cells, we can actually get them out of spectrum from autism. And at our center at IRM, we have been treating these children for many years now, and some of you have actually witnessed that as well.
Exactly. But are we trying to say over here that that if unfortunately you are autistic, that means that you have some bad cells in your brain which needs to be replaced by newer cells.
Exactly. So, give you what the data that we have. So there is a functional brain scan, functional MRI scan, through which we know there are certain brain areas that are not functioning properly.
Okay.
They are structurally fine, but they are not functioning properly.
Okay.
So when these stem cells are injected, technical term, they improve the blood flow. That area starts improving functionally, and then through therapies, through behavioral therapy, speech therapy, then these children actually start speaking, they start behaving well.
And wow, that's wonderful. And I do believe that, you know, for everybody who's actually listening to this conversation, you really need to go see an expert and do your own research. You know, because this is a field of medicine where it's so vast that we can never be sure whether it's going to work out for you or not. So it's always advised that you need to put in your research as well. In addition to this, I think, because, you know, I'm into that business, I think it helps quite a lot with anti-aging. That's one thing that which I can recommend people for as well. And people with hair loss, you know, maybe the PRPs, that's exactly the stem cell therapy. If it's not, I'm going to ask Dr. Saab as well. So Dr. Saab, anti-aging industry is a $1 trillion industry as of now. People are injecting Botox, fillers,
we are
PRPs.
obsessed with the idea of youth.
Yes.
Yes. So how do you think that stem cells can actually be a better option rather than you going for Botox and fillers and whatnot?
That's a very good question again. So anything that's Botox, fillers, they have their own side effects, right? Botox is a neurotoxin. Filler, you're actually filling a groove which eventually will become bigger once the filler is gone.
True.
With regenerative medicine, with stem cells, we're actually going one step further and trying to treat the cause of the aging, which you know, actually I want to clarify here that anti-aging does not mean just your face. It means your body as well.
And your organs.
And your organs, absolutely. Internal, external. Because your skin is a representation of who you are. You know, so what your internal metabolism is, how your organs are functioning. Skin is the biggest organ in our body. So let's first talk about the skin part. So with these stem cells, what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase the natural collagen production. Whatever, you talked about PRP, we use exosomes, we use stem cells. At the end, we are trying to increase collagen and elastin, so your skin starts looking like you were when you were younger, when you were a baby. Like, you know why they call it the baby skin? Because it has
when you touch it,
it's plump, you know, it's firm. So that's what we're trying to do with regenerative medicine. And now there are certain FDA-approved treatments. There is Laviv, which takes your own fibroblasts. We take a biopsy from the back of the skin. We take it to the lab. We culture the fibroblasts into millions of cells and then inject it back onto your skin. And
I've been through that process. That machine was really expensive. I still remember when we bought it. It's got like so many blades in it. You take it out, you mesh it, and then you have to inject it back. You know, and did it work out for me? I think partially yes and partially no. But that's exactly, you know, there's a reason why I actually mentioned it. That's exactly what the problem is with us now. Now imagine with Botox and fillers and all of these solutions which are readily available in market and really expensive these days, they will give you results within a week's time or 2 weeks' time maximum, and will be with you for the next 6 months if it's a good Botox or fillers. Now with the regenerative medicine, how do you think that the results are? Do you think that the results are slow, or it depends from individual to individual?
Right. Okay. So what happens is, you're absolutely right, with Botox and fillers, the results are immediate. You see it on the table. Whereas with regenerative medicine, this thing takes longer, you know, so because when you inject the cells, they'll home to that area, start producing the collagen. So it'll take around 4 to 6 weeks for you to start seeing the results. But on the flip side, the results are even longer lasting. So it'll last for 1 year, 2 years. And if you repeat it, let's say after 2 years, repeat it, the results will be even longer, you know, so they'll stay for more years because these are memory cells, they know what to do.
Wow, that's wonderful. And in addition to this, I do remember that the last time when we had this conversation, you actually had a counterpart somewhere in Turkey. You know, so
absolutely.
You were sending. So do you think that we've had a facility, we have developed a facility in Pakistan now, and that people can come, and that it's a quick process?
Absolutely. First of all, your memory is really good.
Thank you so much.
It was quite a few years ago. So the Turkish helped us a lot. They transferred the technology to us, and it's been almost 6 years now that we have our own lab at IRM Hospital. It was developed by the same professor, Professor Kunat Ertürk, and I want to thank the Turkish team and the Turkish people for extending their love and extending their expertise to Pakistan. And because of them, now not only stem cells, we have actually gone one step further. We're doing gene therapy. We have brought the the technology of CAR T cells, which is the next in cancer treatment to Pakistan. We're the first one in the region to have developed CAR T cells because of our.
And thank you so much for saying that as well. And a lot of people, who unfortunately might be suffering from cancer. Let me ask this question for all of you. Is cancer curable with stem cell therapy?
Yes. So,
or regenerative medicine?
Right. So exactly. That's a term, regenerative medicine, because this is a form of immunotherapy.
Yep.
With immunotherapy, what we're trying to do is we're enhancing your own immune system to selectively control that particular cancer.
Okay.
With chemotherapy will actually kill all of the cells that are growing faster, cancer being the fastest growing cells. Now, with immunotherapy, with CAR T cells, what we're doing is we are taking your own immune system, T cells for in particular, and we are charging them with that particular antigen so that it attacks only that cancer. So this is targeted technology, and it is a cure for a lot of uncurable cancers.
Subhanallah. Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for taking our time, and thank you so much for being in conversation with you and for
everything
letting
that you
our
said
audiences.
was very educational. Yeah, everything. I think all our audience is going to be very happy with all these facts that we learned today.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And in addition to this, where we're talking about so much of revolution, ladies and gentlemen, may it be industrial revolution, may it be revolution within medicine, there's revolution in the food industry as well. And to kind of speak about that, we're really lucky that we've been joined by Mr. Syed FARHAT Raza. Hello, Farhat bhai. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much. I'm fine.
So it's wonderful to have you over here. So first of all, sir, what I would want to know from you is, what are we trying to say when we say that we are adopting to digital technology in food manufacturing?
If you see the recent trend all around the world, the manufacturing industry is moving towards the digitalization as far as the manufacturing is concerned, because this is the current and the future demand and requirement. If you just see at the global level, the annual market growth for the MES technology, which is based on the digitalization, is 13%, and it is expected to reach by 48 billion by 2030. So that's the trend we can see is going forward, and we have to run with the same trend we can see as far as the data is concerned.
Front. Sir, where do you think Pakistan is on that front?
I think we have to do a lot in that case. We need to develop a model that is suitable for our country as far as the manufacturing industry is concerned, particularly focused on food side, and that model should focus on achieving the max efficiencies, increasing the productivity, maintaining the traceability, achieving the quality, and meeting the legislative requirement not for only for the country but outside of the market also, because certainly we have to go in the market, and that's why we have to adopt this new technology.
Exactly. And sir, what practices do you think that we really need to change now, and which will actually help us do better with the digitalization of the food industry?
I think first we need to have the right person doing his job who has deep insight of the global requirement, global market, and go for a gap analysis of the current system as far as the Pakistan is concerned, and then get it aligned with global requirement, because certainly it's not only within the country, because we have to see at the global also how we can meet the global challenge as the country is concerned, and that's the one we have to see as far as the trend is concerned.
In Pakistan, I feel like the dairy industry is always very flourishing. We love our cow milk, we love our buffalo milk. In other countries that are shifting towards cashew milk or soy milk, we still want to stick to the old classic cow milk. So I read that by using these digital monitoring systems, you were able to save 1.2 million pounds annually. So how can we use these digital monitoring systems within the dairy sector of Pakistan?
The beauty of this digitalized system is that it gives you a real-time data information, and that helps you to take a quick decision as far as your manufacturing is concerned. Whenever you take a quick decision, if something is going wrong, you can control it immediately. So the first beauty of the digitalization, it gives you an immediate data that can be used to see the efficiency, to see the productivity, to maintain your quality, to maintain the legislative requirement. So the basic driving force behind digitalization is you get the real-time information rather than waiting for 24 hours and just discuss that water that has already passed under the bridge. So it gives you the immediate insight as far as your manufacturing is concerned, and that's the direction we have to set as far as the urban industry is concerned in Pakistan.
Exactly. And sir, as far as the production, the supply, the demand, I think, such manufacturing execution systems will certainly help to have, more specific decisions, knowing where and how much of consumption is going on with the data collection and whatnot. But one of the challenges that we face over here in Pakistan is milawat, mixing. And so unfortunately, we have had times over here where we might have thought that we are eating probably beef, but and it was cow beef probably, but it was another source. How do you think that in days to come, because China has done that, they have QR scan codes on each and every fruit of theirs, may it be mutton or beef or chicken, whatever you're going to buy, and it takes you back to when and where and the origin of it as well. How do you think that we can solve this solution? Because the only problem over here that we face every single day is that we don't know what we're eating.
In that case, basically, this is not a single segment or a single function concern. This is a team effort which has to be there as far as the country level is concerned. When we say smart manufacturing is not a function of single person or single department or single area, but it is a giant effort where you include all the relative stakeholders, either it's a legislative authority, either it's the executing authority, either it's a customer itself, either as your laboratories who are making the standards. So all these functions, they have to come under one umbrella, and that umbrella has to be led by a right person, which I said in the beginning, who has a clear vision as far as what we need to have, has a deep understanding of the problems we have, and how to address those problems and what are the possible solutions for those gaps. That it should be the right direction. Like you just mentioned about the adulteration, yes, it is there, but there are a lot of ways to control that one. And we have to be dedicated honestly with that one as a team, and then definitely we can achieve anything.
And
We
sir,
have
that's exactly
very
what
good
I
people
want to
here.
ask you over here at this point of time, and that is that, have you been in conversation with local governments? Because imagine that with all of these manufacturing execution systems and data, what will happen is that, that we will be able to stop leakages, we will be able to stop where people were stealing, we will be able to track where our product is. Do you think that the local governments now, or all of those stakeholders are interested in implementing such smart systems so that we have a revolutionized food industry?
I'm working out of the country since last 30 years, but being a Pakistani, yes, I have looked at what is happening in Pakistan. Definitely, I can see that at the individual level, various functions, they are interested to achieve that level. We call it smart manufacturing, but we need to go for a giant effort as a team, and we can be there. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, all functions, they have to come under one umbrella with a clear focus, with a clear roadmap, with a clear KPI, with a clear roadmap and achievement for the end result. Then it can happen. We have to have a very clear roadmap for the future, and then monitor is during that journey with a time-bounded period that, okay, we are going to complete with 1 year or 2 years, and there should be a monitoring system within that period, and you will be there. That's one I practice since I am out of the country. That's the way we do it.
I think that's wonderful. And sir, we went through your, accolades which you have achieved as well. Alhamdulillah, you've done so much. You're an expert yourself. But thank you so much for taking our time and being in conversation with us. And thank you so much for sharing and, shedding light onto such a topic where we certainly need more awareness about as well. Thank you so much, FARHAT Saab, for your valuable time and for your valuable addition. Wonderful to have you on our show. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much. Eesha, imagine that now we know finally that imagine that where our food is being originated from, what sort of pesticides are being used, what sort of fertilizers are being used, what water it has been given, or what food it has been given. And I think that with such smart execution systems, what we'll have is that artificial intelligence is actually knocking the door of this industrial revolution. And certainly, the systems will be automated. And at least sitting back at home, I would know कि यार ये जो मैं सब्जी खा रहा हूँ ये साफ सुथरे पानी से उगी है, ये सब्जी का बीज बड़ा ऑर्गेनिक है और मैं अच्छी खुराक खा रहा हूँ. And that's why I actually had to do kitchen gardening. I think I've promised my audiences that I will bring a clip one day because yeah, I do quite a lot of kheti badi these days.
I would like to learn a lot from you. I'm very interested in kitchen gardening as well.
You guys are more than welcome to come over as well. But in addition to this, obviously with all of this industrial revolution, industrialization, execution systems, there's one thing that always worries me, Eesha.
And that is
digitalization. I don't know if this digitalization is actually making us more smart or dumb. I mean, I'm still confused to kind of figure that out. Some days I feel, wow, I've consumed so much of knowledge which I'm going to share with other people, but some days I'm just doom scrolling. So I don't know where I am at this point of time, but to kind of answer all of these questions, we're very lucky that we've been joined by an expert over here, and she happens to be a psychotherapist. Ladies and gentlemen, she is Miss SAIMA HASHIM. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you feeling today?
Salam, I'm feeling great.
Wonderful.
How are you?
Likewise, mashallah. Thank you so much for joining us. So, what we wanted to discuss today was navigating the benefits and challenges of digital life for youth. What do you have to say about it?
Well, when you said, is it making us dumb or smart? So, I would like to start from there.
Sure.
Digital life or maybe social media, it's not there to make us something. Okay. They don't have any plans for us, to make me something else or anything. Right. It's my choice. Okay. What do I want to become, right? I would like to give an analogy here that, imagine having a medicine, the same substance can heal or harm you, depending upon how much, and why you are taking. Exactly. It's your choice.
Exactly.
You should be mindful.
That was so beautifully put together.
But Madam Saima, we really need to be mindful now. Now imagine that if I'm over here and if anybody brings me food, well, I do that, I'll eat it, right?
Yeah.
So I might not want to go fat, but because of the fact that there was so much food available and I've consumed so much, I will be fat, right? I will become fat eventually. That's exactly what social media is doing to us. So we do not know, or we do not allow social media to do anything to us, and we do not have it in our subconscious, the back of our mind, but because of the content that we see, it shapes our habits, it shapes how we talk, how we listen to people, how there are shorter attention spans. How do you think that we need to be mindful of that?
Yes,
that's a beautiful example though.
Yeah. So first of all, social media was not launched for welfare purpose, right? It's not a welfare purpose. We need, again, I would repeat, we need to be mindful, right? And it's our choice. It's not social media's choice, right? I have to be, can you repeat your last sentence of your question?
So my last sentence was, how can we be mindful that our subconscious knows that the impact that we are taking from social media, that we are able to negate it?
Yeah, we need to understand that social media is there to transform our lives, right? Not to replace our lives. It is a part, I totally agree and accept that it is a very significant part, but still it's a part of our life, not the entire life. We have to take some balance, Here comes balance, because whenever we go out of balance, life starts disrupts.
True. Oh, wonderful. I mean, Eesha?
Exactly, yeah.
Because you're from that generation where, you guys are on digital media.
I'm not from the generation of iPad kids, okay? I'm not that young. but yes, I would like to know that the younger generation coming up, what do you see them, how are they being mentally impacted by this? Are they always glued to their screens? Are they developing attention disorders like ADHD? Unfold this conversation for us.
Or autism as well.
Yeah, and I know youth, we focus on youth because youth is our future, right? Yes. But every generation is impacted by social media. I myself am also impacted, right? To be very honest. Okay, yeah. So people come to me with a lot of, not maybe disorders or challenges, mental challenges like anxiety, panic attacks, depression, and also there is an imposter syndrome which comes from, you know, people when they see, you know, that perfect lives, you know, flawless skins, perfect figure, and, you know, luxurious bags and luxurious items people are carrying, right? Then they, you know, start comparing themselves with the carefully curated images, right? Because then reality is no more for them. That illusion becomes reality, right? And, you know, they are just unable to you know, see the difference between reality and these images. And then there starts a loop of comparison, which make them feel, I'm not good enough.
Thank you so much for saying that, because Eesha, that's exactly what I would want to speak about. Now imagine that earlier, if you go back in time, you know, the 90s movies, right? The 90s movies, you know, there will be a romantic couple, there'll be songs in the film, and people would think that married life, my God, you know, it's a bed of roses, you know, and nobody spoke about how those movies were impacting and how people actually wanted, you know, 100 on 100 married life, right? Now, that's exactly what we have seen seeping into younger generations, because they have newer tools in hand. So it's not the VCR that we put a cassette in. Now they're being projected over here. How do you think now parents need to control that? Because with anxiety, depression, the increasing demands of the children or whatever they see on TikTok, they want it for themselves. I see lesser ambitions within the children as well. Because imagine that when we were growing up, we would want to be doctors, engineers and whatnot. I mean, now when you look at them, you know, kya karoge bete? I would want to be a YouTuber. I would want to be a vlogger. There's nothing bad in it. But it's not you being ambitious, right? So that's one thing that we're seeing that is going away right from our hands and in front of our eyes. How do we stop that?
So in first place, you know, I'll start from the root cause. In first place, parents have to work on their mindset, right? They have to, you know, think positively about their children, not like with the authoritative figure, like, you know, I did this, my father did this, you know, then you have to do the same. No, this is not going to happen now, right? It will create just chaos, nothing else. So, you know, we need to have open conversations with our children, with our students, you know. We need to have open conversations about their dreams. What do you want to become? Okay, you want to become a YouTuber? Become a YouTuber. But along becoming a YouTuber, you have to have some professional qualification also. You know?
I think, and that's how we really need to address that as well. But thank you so much, Ms. SAIMA, you know, for, you know, raising your concerns about that. And we obviously as a team have always made sure that we bring such topics. But for everybody who's out there, I mean, to let your children be YouTubers, vloggers or bloggers, there's no harm in it, and I'm all for it. But what I would want to recommend, it's a humble submission of mine, and that is that आप अपने बच्चों को पहले अच्छा इंसान भी बनाएं, या पहले नहीं बाद में बना लें बेशक, you know, because what parents have done is that once they start to see that their children are actually making handsome money, which they couldn't until the age of 40 or 50, they let them do whatever they want to do. So we really need them to be, you know, an important member of the society.
We need to help parents counsel their kids as well. We need attentive listening, and also you touched on the imposter syndrome earlier. So I want to know how BDD, body dysmorphic disorder, is also prevalent in society due to digitalization. You know, you see yourself comparing to models, to Instagram filters. Do you see clients with BDD disorders frequently?
Yes, exactly. Because it's all about low self-esteem. They start comparing themselves. Comparison kills, you know, it literally kills. And to whom they are comparing? With very carefully created images, right? It's not reality. It's there to tell you that we are the perfect things. We have perfect lives. And here comes balance. Here comes critical thinking, right? Which therapy helps you. Through CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, we help our clients to think critically, to think logically, right?
And be
to also to have your, you know, a strong self-image of yourself. You should know what you are and what you have to become.
Exactly. At least feel confident about yourself. You know, feel confident in your own skin as well. I've seen a lot of people tell me, oh, you know, why don't you put stories and whatnot? I think one of the major reasons of that is that whenever I'm having food, I've seen a lot of people posting stories of food. Just think, you know, by yourself, that what if that story appears in front of somebody who might not have had food the entire day. So I think people really need to be careful about what they're posting on their social media. But thank you so much for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. Thank you so much, Eesha, with such wonderful questions. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, तुसी जो भी करो पहले अच्छे इंसान बनो, ठीक है? That's the only message. Until next time, look out for yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Have a great day.